Captain Jack and his crew of pirates were on a search for the lost treasure of Blackbeard. They had heard stories of a map that revealed the location of the treasure hidden in an unknown island. The crew was made up of fiercely loyal individuals who had sailed with Jack through thick and thin, and this time they were determined to find the treasure no matter what it took. The journey was long and arduous, but Jack and his crew pressed on. They sailed through dangerous waters, faced fierce storms, and fought off rival pirate crews who wanted the treasure for themselves. But they remained undaunted. They knew that the treasure was worth it, with gold and jewels beyond their wildest dreams. Finally, after months of searching, they came upon a map that had been hidden away in a dusty old chest. The map revealed the location of the treasure on an island that had never been charted before. The crew was overjoyed at the discovery and set sail immediately towards the island. But as they neared the island, they realized that it was guarded by a fierce group of natives who were known for their hatred of outsiders. The crew was afraid, but Jack was determined to reach the treasure. He ordered his men to prepare for battle, and they charged towards the island. The natives were ready for them, and a fierce battle ensued. Weapons clashed, cannons boomed, and the air was thick with the smell of gunpowder. But despite the odds against them, Jack and his crew prevailed. They fought with all the ferociousness they had, and at the end of the day, they emerged victorious. They finally found the treasure lying in a cave beneath a waterfall. The crew was awestruck by the sight. Piles upon piles of gold, jewels, and treasure beyond their wildest dreams. They were overjoyed at their success and celebrated long into the night, drinking rum and telling stories of their journey. But as the night wore on, Jack began to notice something strange. One by one, his crewmates began to mysteriously disappear. At first, he thought they had wandered off, lost in the haze of drunkenness. But things began to get even stranger when he noticed that the treasure was also beginning to disappear. Jack was dumbfounded. He had never seen anything like it before. His crewmates and the treasure were simply vanishing into thin air. He knew there was only one person who could be responsible for this, a sorceress who was rumored to live on the island. Jack went in search of the sorceress, determined to get his crew back and find out what was going on. He found her living in a hut on the outskirts of the island. She was old and shriveled, but she had a fierce look in her eyes that made Jack shudder. She told him that the island and its treasure were cursed. Anyone who came to claim it would have to pay a terrible price. The treasure would vanish, and anyone who took it would suffer horrifying consequences. Jack couldn't believe what he was hearing. He had never believed in curses or sorcery before. But now, faced with the reality of what was happening, he had no choice but to believe. The sorceress told him that there was only one way to break the curse. He would have to offer up his most prized possession as payment. Jack didn't know what that was. He had always believed that the treasure was his most prized possession, but as he thought about it more, he realized that the most meaningful thing he had was his crew. Jack went back to the cave and offered himself up as payment. He told the sorceress that he would stay on the island forever, never to leave, if only she would release his crew and let them take the treasure back home. The sorceress was surprised at Jack's offer, but she knew what it meant to him. She agreed to the deal, but warned Jack that he would pay a heavy price. True to the sorceress's words, Jack was never able to leave the island. He spent the rest of his life there, watching the world go by from afar. But he never forgot his crew, nor the adventure that led him to the lost treasure. And as he looked back on his life, he knew that he had made the right choice. In the end, the only thing that truly mattered to him was the love and loyalty of his crewmates and the memories they shared.